Welcome to lesson 5.4, area and circumference. Now, before we get started, I have an important question. Are you as pumped about the Oculus Rift as I am? Because 3D is like coming. Like this is like coming right now. I can't tell you how pumped I am. But that's besides the point. Back to the lesson. Area and circumference. Now, this is probably something that you've done before, so this will be a review for some people. But check it out. This could be helpful. So what is area and what is circumference? Area is the measure of how much space there is in a shape. Okay, so like if I want to know how much space this circle occupies, that would be an area question. Now, circumference is the distance around a shape or a circle. So if I want to know the length around this circle, I would be using circumference. All right, that's the length around. Length around. No, I didn't forget how to spell length. I knew. Anyway, for these two questions I'm about to ask, would I need to know the area or the circumference to answer the following questions? All right. To answer how much cheese I need to cover a pizza, would that be an area kind of question or a circumference kind of question? Well, that would be an area question, right? Because the amount of cheese is covering all this space on the pizza. That was like the whole pizza. Now, if I wanted to know the length of the crust around a pizza, all the way around, that looks like more of a circumference because I'm going around. The crust goes around the pizza. This might just come in handy because you might have some word problems to do today. When to use area and when to use circumference. So let's get into the formulas. To find the area of a circle, you just use the formula that you see here. Area equals pi times the radius squared. The radius of this circle is 8. The radius just goes from the center to the outside of the circle, and our radius is 8. So this is going to be pi times 8 squared. Now we're going to answer this in two different ways. We're going to answer this in radians, and we're going to answer this as a decimal. Now a radian just means that you don't multiply by pi. Don't multiply by pi. So in this example, what I would do is this. I would say the area equals pi times, well, 8 squared is 64. So since I'm not multiplying by pi, I'm just going to switch these around and I get 64 pi. All right, that's it in terms of radians because I didn't actually multiply by the pi. Now if I want to get this as a decimal, what I need to do is now multiply this by pi. So we'll put it in the calculator. So I'll show you how to put this in the calculator. Here's my calculator, and you would just do 64, and the pi is right here. Okay, so what you're going to do is second this and press enter. And what you see here is we get 201.0619. Now, we're just going to be doing this to the hundredth, so let's write this down. 201.061. So this is the area equals 201.061, and to do it to the hundredth, that's just these first two. So 201.06. The second decimal is the hundredth place. Hundredth. All right, the second one. And since that's a 1, I didn't round it up. All right, we're just rounding it. For our next one, we know that HK is the diameter of circle F. HK, this whole distance, is equal to 12. What is the area of circle F? Now in this case, for the area, we need to do pi times the radius squared. The radius is just half the diameter. Radius is just equal to 1/2 of the diameter. So if my diameter is 12, then my radius, which is right over here, is 6. It's just half of the diameter, okay? So now that I know my radius, I can plug into my formula. So area is going to equal to pi times my radius squared. So we're going to answer this in both radians and as a decimal. So area is equal to pi times 6 squared, which is 36. So my area is equal to 36 pi, okay? That's the answer in radians. Remember, that means don't multiply by pi. And I get this as a decimal. Let's go back to our calculator. All right, let's clear this out. And we get 36 times pi. Put that in the calculator and we get 113.097. Area equals 113.097. Let me check that just to make sure I got that right. 0.97. All right. Now I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm not going to round it to the hundredth, so we'll just leave it like this. It doesn't tell us where they want it rounded to, so this is good enough. All right. All right, the circumference formula. FG is the radius of circle G. FG is equal to 10. Find the circumference of circle G. Okay? To find the circumference, use this formula. 2 times pi times the radius. So the circumference here is 2 times pi times 10 because our radius is equal to 10. Now I'm going to answer this once again both radians and as a decimal. So our circumference, which I'll just call C, is equal to 2 times pi times 10. I'm going to multiply the 2 and the 10. All right, 2 times 10 is 20, and I'm just going to leave the pi. All right, so I just did 2 times the radius. So my circumference is equal to 20 pi. Now once again, I do want to get this as a decimal as well, so I can answer in either form. So let's put that in the calculator again. Clear this out. It's 20 times pi, and that gives us 62.831. All right, that is 62, oh, I forgot already. Come on, 0.831. I'm getting old. I can't remember these things. All right. Once again, it doesn't ask us to round it, so we're just going to leave it like that. 62.831. 3 decimal places is enough. I'll be happy with that. If they said round to the hundredth, you just take that out. All right, looking good. Let's try 2 more problems. Okay, these are our challenge problems. Circle M has a diameter with points located at -1, -3, -1, -3. All right, and 5, -3. So that is our circumference. I mean, that's our diameter of our circle. Okay, so what we can do is either you can get your, what's it called? Your compass and draw the circle here, or you can just draw your own nice looking circle. So let's just draw it right here. Let's not get too fancy. And this is our center, right over here. Now, to find the length of our diameter, we just count. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our diameter is equal to 6. But to find the circumference, which we're trying to do, or find the area, which we're trying to do, we need the radius. So remember, it's just half of the diameter. So the radius is half of the diameter, so that's equal to 3. That makes sense. We can just see that here, 1, 2, 3. So now we just plug into our formula. Area equals pi r squared. Please always write your formula first. Always write formula first. And so our area is equal to pi times 3 squared. So the area is going to be equal to 9 pi. All right. Now you guys can put that in the calculator, see what the decimal is. Try it with me. Clear this out. This is 9 pi. And we get 28.274. 28.274. Once again, if this asks it for it into the hundredths, we can just knock that out. All right, looking good. So this is the final one, and it's really important that you get how to do this problem, okay? So I'm going to show you how it's done. In this problem, it says if the area of circle K is 196 pi, so it's giving you the area, all right? We want to find the radius of the circle. So our radius is what x is. We already know the area. Well, what you do is this. You plug into your formula. So area equals pi times radius squared. Now the area was given to us, so that's 196 pi. The radius, we don't know it, so that's x. Okay? From here, we're just going to simplify it a bit. We get 196 pi equals pi x squared. And since there's a pi on both sides, there's a pi here and there's a pi here, you could actually cancel that out. And what you get is 196 equals x squared. The final step is, since that's squared, you have to take the square root of both sides. And what you get, x is equal to 14. So the radius, in this case, the radius is equal to 14. Now, just to say this again, we wrote out our formula, area equals pi r squared. Since the area was given, we plugged that in, and we set that equal to pi times x squared, and x is our radius since we didn't know it. And then we just solved it. All right, guys, that's it for this lesson. That was real. Hey, kitty! Quit! That was it for this lesson. You've all been lovely. Stay true to yourself.